Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we're at Orr Acura in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is the 2024 Acura MDX Type S. And we're going to answer the question in today's video, does it have the right features for the right price? It has an exterior color of platinum white pearl coat, which it really has a nice look to it. It has that sparkle. I hope that shows up in the video the way it does live here in person. But I'm sure you've seen it, you know what that looks like. But one thing that's a little unusual here, you're looking at it right now. Instead of having the red interior, it has the orchid leather interior, which to me has a little bit more of an elegant look to it compared to the red. The red looks more sporty, it looks racy. There's nothing wrong with that, I like that. But if you're really looking for more of a luxurious look, I think this is what you might want to go with. I think this is the very first one I should say, that I have seen with this particular color as far as the Type S goes for the interior. So what are the big advantages here? Well, you have a roomy and comfortable interior and a model that has impressive performance on the road. But something that's unusual, a lot of the time when you get a vehicle that rides well, it typically doesn't have the best handling. You sacrifice that for the comfortable ride quality. Here, Acura's done a good job of balancing both a comfortable ride quality with really sporty handling. So let's dig in a little bit deeper and find out exactly what you get for the sticker price on this particular model that I promised to share with you later in the video. But one thing I do want to share, speaking of the sticker price, is the fact that if you come in here to Orr Acura and mention that you have watched a Vehicle Visionary video on the new vehicle you purchased, this is only on new vehicles only, new Acuras, not used. But here at Orr Acura, you tell them, hey, I watched the video on this particular model on Vehicle Visionary on YouTube. They'll give you $500 off right off the bat. The front fascia is unique to the Type S trim level for the MDX. And you'll notice that everything here is active. The upper and the lower grille, obviously, but also the vents on the side, that's active, that's allowing air through. And you can even see where that comes out. That's going to be this area right here. You'll also find the jewel eye LED headlights and the chicane LED daytime running lights. It's a really nice design there. And down here on the lower portion of the front end will be the fog lights. A lot of gloss black here, but I think it's appropriate. It seems to fit. And the Type S logo. A few things are going to be a little different here as far as that is concerned on several different areas of the vehicle. On the front, on the side, as you saw earlier, also on the rear, and tire and wheel size. SH all-wheel drive, obviously going to be standard on this trim level. 275 will be the width on the tires. A 40 series sidewall wrapped around those Type S specific. Let's get that right without a tongue twist now, Tom. Giving you a chance to laugh at me. And it's okay, you can laugh at me, not with me on that. But these are 21-inch wheels. We have the nice red brake calipers there that really kind of break things up. It really gets the attention of those looking at the vehicle. And you're going to also have a very nice look here. Again, the gloss black with the trim on the doors, on the lower portion of the body down there. Also with these power adjustable, heated, and power folding side view mirrors. Might be a little hard to see here in the bright Louisiana sunshine today, but it does also have the turn signal indicators built in to those side view mirrors. And one thing about the MDX Type S, you're going to have a larger remote here, Type S logo on the back. This is remote start. It is a proximity key, a smart remote, smart key, all that stuff is here. You'll also have the roof rails on this particular trim level. And we'll take a look from the inside later on, but you also have the panoramic sunroof, the body colored shark fin antenna. And here with the rear roof spoiler, you might wonder, is that just for looks? No, it's not. It's actually meant to channel air when you're driving down the road over the rear window. That helps to keep the rear window clean when you're in motion. But when it does get dirty from when you're sitting still for a long period of time, maybe a high pollen area during the time of the year when that's an issue, well, you obviously have the rear window wiper. And we finish things off with the LED tail lights, going to have the MDX logo right there. Also SHAWD, all-wheel drive. And another Type S logo. We'll also have the quad tip exhaust and a little bit more of that gloss black finishing things off here on the rear. And a couple of things I did want to show you real fast here. Lock the interior. You can see that the windows do fold. They are power folding. And to use remote start, you're just going to hold the button down. There actually is a light, a little green light that flashes up there and lets you know that it's working. I don't think you can see that very well here in the bright sunshine, but just so you can see, that's all you have to do to start the vehicle. Very simple process. Under the hood is the turbocharged 3-liter 6-cylinder, putting out a plentiful 355 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 354. Power makes its way through a 10-speed automatic transmission, and the MPGs come in at 17 city, 21 highway, and 19 combined. And if you're curious, this model has an 18.5-gallon gas tank. And if you want to tow with your MDX Type S, it will tow up to 5,000 pounds. And cargo capacity comes in at 18.1 up to 95 cubic feet. You can see how everything looks with all of the seats folded completely flat, and a good view of the panoramic sunroof up there. You do have a 12-volt power outlet back here, a little bit of storage on the side and storage underneath the floor. And the thing I like here is that you have a two-sided floor. You have the plastic side and the carpeted side to use accordingly. And here is one nifty little trick. If you're like, I know I am, when you go to the grocery store, you want to make one trip into the house, and so you gather everything up in both hands. Well, then all of a sudden you don't have a free hand to close the power lift gate. Well, in this case, you have the walk-away feature. That's what that button is right there. So you heard that beep. I'm going to stand here for a few seconds. Let's just pretend that I'm gathering up all the groceries to make that one trip into the house, so I don't have to make 2 or 3. And I stand here. It takes me about 10 to 15 seconds to get everything gathered up and ready to walk into the house. And then all I do is just walk away. And the power lift gate closes. You'll notice that it stayed open until I moved. And I realize you obviously have the hands-free function where you can use the option under the bumper to kick or wave your foot underneath, and it will open the power lift gate. But that's just an additional option that you might not have known was there. And when it comes to the rear seating area, quite a bit to talk about here. You will find the rear privacy shades on these doors for each window, so those can easily be put in place. You also have very comfortable armrests right here, large door bins, and you can see that rear seat passengers can have increased legroom, at least with these outboard seats. The middle seat is actually completely removable, but you can't slide it back and forth like you can these outboard seats. So that's a nice thing to know about. Makes it very easy to gain access to the back seat area by simply pushing that button. You'll still have to push the seat up just a tiny bit, but let's hop back here so I can show you what you have as far as legroom goes. So here's what we have. And even at 5'10", you can see my legs are pretty much against the back of the seat, but it's not that terribly bad. But if I slide over here to the other side where you've got a little more room, well, quite a bit more room, there is more space. And if you remove this seat, it increases it even more. And then obviously we're going to have USB connectivity back here, so that is always a win. And getting back out is not that difficult. It's not really a big deal if whoever's sitting in the middle seats here doesn't move the seat up and out of the way, because there's a button right there as well, just to go ahead and move that all the way out of the way and get right out. By the way, here is a look at the panoramic sunroof from the third row. And in case you're wondering, yes, there is a power shade for the panoramic sunroof right there. That's a good thing. There's a little more storage on the back of the seats right here with the rear seat pockets, and climate control. The climate control station, we'll say, is right here on the rear of the center console with the air conditioning vents. And dare I leave it on for long, but there it is, just to show you there are heated seats. And then you have the 12-volt power outlet, another power outlet, and the USB options down there on the lower portion of the rear of the center console. So quite a bit going in the way of connectivity throughout the interior, including up into the front seat, which is where we're going next. And you will find power seats for the driver and the passenger. They're also ventilated, thankfully, and heated. Don't need that right now. Probably won't need that until November or December, at least here in Northwest Louisiana. And you will find the piano black or gloss black trim in a few different areas. I don't know that that's that big of a deal here because I don't think it's in an area where it's going to fingerprint up too bad. You will find seat memory for the driver and the passenger. You can see it over there. As far as the passenger side goes, you'll also find plenty of space within the glove box and within the center console. And so here's what we have. A couple of different options here. A little bit of space on the top, and then you can also gain access to the center area here, the main area of the center console. Another 12-volt and USB power outlet, wireless charging, cup holders. You can control the volume with the radio right here, obviously. There's another USB port. There are USB ports everywhere in this model. And if you don't like the auto stop-start feature, or what is sometimes called idle stop, you can turn that off right here. That's a good thing. And over here on the driver's side door panel, pretty much the same thing we saw on the passenger side, but you can see what all is there. You do have seat memory and a few extra buttons for controlling the windows and the mirrors and all that good stuff. We also have the head-up display. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is there. You can see the projector right here. This is the area where that's found. And then here on the dash, a nice dashboard, the digital look to it. It looks very nice and very modern. You can tell when the headlights are on. That way, if they're on during the day, you'll see that illumination. That's a little bit easier to see than the indicator right there, at least to notice. But a very nice look, a very modern look. Obviously, well, you can control the headlights and the fog lights right here. You can also use the blinkers or turn signals. And I know a lot of you are saying, what does that mean? What are blinkers and turn signals? I don't know what that is. You can ask questions down in the comments, I promise. I have a tutorial video I can share with you on that. Right here, can't say anything sarcastic or funny about that. That's where you control your front and rear window wipers. And your steering wheel mounted controls are here, as well as the shifter paddles for managing your way through the 10-speed automatic transmission. That's a pretty neat deal there. And by the way, you do have multiple driving modes. So what's going to happen is you can use this as your dial selector, your mode selector, I should say. And so what happens is, depending on what you need to do, we'll start with normal. We'll go to sport right here. You can see the difference with that. And then we're going to have comfort, snow, and because this model has the air ride suspension, it will actually raise up when you go to lift right there. So that's kind of a neat feature. And then you can also push right here and go into individual. So that's there. You can make a lot of different changes to how the vehicle works. Now let's talk a little bit about the screen. This is not a touch screen. I know a lot of people don't like that, but yet these MDXs are still selling. They're very popular. I think once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. For one thing, it's kind of far away. You'd have to lean way forward in most cases to reach it. So you have the trackpad right here that makes it actually very easy to use. And for those of you who like built-in navigation, what I did was I scrolled around with my finger right there, and then I pushed down on the pad to make my selection. So that makes things easier. So for those of you who are looking for built-in navigation, well, guess what? You do have that here. We can actually go in and make quite a few changes here with the vehicle. It does have ambient lighting that we will never be able to see out here in the bright Louisiana sunshine. But one thing I can show you when you go into reverse is you have a multitude of views, including the overhead view with the camera. So depending on what you want to see and what you need to see around the vehicle, you can actually make changes to the view. And then when you go back into park, you're going to have the front camera come up. As you can see, that's always a good thing. So quite a bit going on in the way of technology and features here. Like I say, I know a lot of people are not going to be real thrilled with the fact that there's no touch screen here, but the technology is still very easy to learn and very easy to use for you newcomers to this type of thing. But one thing I do want to do is get out on the road and enjoy the experience of driving this MDX Type S and be able to tell you a little more about what it's like. And before we go on the test drive, I wanted to show you two things. Number one, what happens when you get into the MDX here on the dashboard. That's the Acura MDX Type S greeting, we'll say. A little bit unique compared to what we would normally see. And that's not all. For those of you who haven't seen this yet, here's what happens when you get out. I'll let you see that as well. There you go. So that's saying goodbye. That's why your MDX is driving away from you as you exit the vehicle. Okay, let's get out on the road here for our quick test drive. There's a lot going for the MDX Type S. Not only does it have all the typical luxuries of the MDX, especially on a higher trim level, it has the advanced package obviously here with all of the great features that go along with that. A very nice bright head-up display. The handling and the ride quality, very, very good. They balance each other very well. I really like that. That no matter what the situation is, it's really ready for it as far as your on-road experiences. And you have all these different driving modes. Depending on what your mood is or what your situation is, well, it works out pretty well. And plus, with the SH all-wheel drive and the appropriate driving mode that's obviously available, if you live in an area where it snows a lot, now this MDX is still going to get the job done for you in being able to get around in those situations. If you have a steep driveway that's hard to get up, maybe a dirt driveway in the mountains somewhere, that's going to be helpful as well as far as the all-wheel drive goes. So a lot going on here within the vehicle itself. There's more than just comfort. There's space, and the technology is easy to learn. And I know a lot of people would like to see a touchscreen. Maybe in the future we'll see that. It would obviously have to come towards the driver a little bit. I'll be very interested when the time comes, which I don't think is going to be for probably a few years, probably 2 or 3 years from now, because the MDX was just fully redesigned for the 2022 model year. So we'll see what happens in the future and how soon we see maybe a refresh. Who knows? I don't know what's coming right now. But what would you like to see in the future when that does happen? Obviously, I know a lot of you, number one, you want to see the touchscreen. For me personally, I don't know. I don't know that it's that big of a deal. I think I could get used to that because my vehicle has basically kind of a trackpad system in it similar to this that I use as my daily driver right now. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. But if I were used to a touchscreen, well, it might be a different story altogether. I don't know. But tell me what you think about it. If you own an MDX, are you used to the trackpad? Is it easy for you to use? And was it an easy adjustment? Might have been the first time you had a vehicle with that kind of technology anyway, so you may not know the difference. I don't know, but I'm always curious to know what everybody thinks. But would you like to see maybe a rear view camera mirror, something like that? What are your thoughts for the future? I'm always curious to receive your feedback. So tell me what you think down in the comments section. Does the 2024 Acura MDX Type S come with the right features for the right price? We didn't cover every single thing that's here. Didn't want to make the video too terribly long, so tell me what you think. And don't forget, if you come in here to Orr Acura, it's only here at Orr Acura where you can use the Vehicle Visionary discount. Mention the fact that you watch this video or any video on any of the new Acura models, I should say, here at the dealership, and you get the instant $500 off. So I want to say a special thanks to my friends here at the dealership for loaning me this MDX Type S for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so. And if you would like to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.